Hello, I wanted to welcome everybody to Fill Your Seminars. It's an educational workshop that I want to hold with you. I'm your host, Carl Schilling. I'm the founder and the CEO of the Advocacy Network. And as we get started here today, let me just briefly give you a little overview on my background so that you have a feel for my history in sales. As I said, I'm the founder of the Advocacy Network. I have over 35 years experience in the financial services, resort real estate, business, and sales coaching industries. And I've either worked directly or consulted for such notable companies as Northwestern Mutual, Prudential, Metropolitan Life, Lincoln Financial Services, Coldwell Banker, Century 21, Ginn Development Company, Playground, which was commonly known as IntraWest, Lennar Homes, Exit Realty, Remax, Merrill Lynch, Nightingale Conant, Tom Hopkins, Brian Tracy, and many others. I was very proud of the fact that I was one of the initial certified trainers for the classic Earl Nightingale Lead the Field program. Still use it in my as one of my key training programs. I've also developed an extensive network of investment banking, broker-dealer, and financial services contacts, and much of that was done through a marketing advisory work that I had done with small micro-cap public entities. In fact, in 2009, I raised over $23 million in capital for small micro-cap issuers. Presently, I still consult for some of those public companies and also companies seeking to go public. I'm a published author. I published The Fabulous Fortunes Through Failure in 2003, and I developed small workshops that promoted a fresh perspective on the concept of failure. 2008, I was asked to be a participating co-author in The Power of the Platform. Other co-authors included Les Brown, Brian Tracy, Jack Canfield, Dr. Tony Alessandra, and quite a list of others. And most recently, I published You Might Be Getting Scammed When, which is a platform piece for our Advocacy Network. So hopefully it gives you a little feel for who I am. And today I wanted to discuss with you, I know that everybody out here today is doing seminars, and we'll get into that. I wanted to talk to you about educational workshops, and I wanted to talk to you about a pathway to success to make it very cost-effective and save you a lot of money. So here's the problems that we all face with this. First of all, there's an incredible amount of white noise. I like to share with you sort of an example of that white noise. Imagine you were standing at home plate in Yankee Stadium. It's about 50,000 people in the stands. They're all hot dog vendors, and all you want is a hot dog. So you got 50,000 yelling, screaming people telling you about all the benefits and advantages to the hot dog that they represent. Now, I don't know how long you could take that. Probably you could handle it for about 30 seconds, a normal average person. If you're really patient, got the patience of Job, you probably could handle it for a minute. But at some point, you're going to run screaming from the stadium out into the street. And lo and behold, what happens when you get out there? Finally, the white noise has calmed down. Your head is finally, calm. You can hear yourself think. And on the corner, you see a little old man. He's got a little monkey. He's grinding a little music grinder. And he's got a hot dog stand, a big umbrella. And basically, you walk up to him and he simply says, what would you like on it? And you say, I'll take two. And you make your transaction and you're done. So you're outside the white noise. So that little hot dog vendor was smart enough to get himself outside the white noise. And that's what I want to talk to you about. In order to get outside the white noise of everybody else, and let's face it, everybody does seminars, everybody's got a steak dinner. So I want you to realize that you need a unique message. Now, one of the things that we've done with a unique messaging is, we talk about, I'm going to get to that problem, but at Advocacy, we talk about financial victimization. Also, our incentive, and I want you to understand this is key. When you do a workshop, it's all about the incentive. Our incentive is the information. It's the education. If you have people coming for any other reason, which we'll talk about in a few moments, you basically are incentivizing them to be focused on only the incentive. So we'll get to talk about make a difference every day, or are you going to just incentivize people to show up for, a steak dinner? So here's the unique message that we lead with and we talk about. Financial victimization is a $250 billion problem. Over $250 billion each and every year is lost to all forms of financial victimization. A great part of that, in order to help people avoid financial victimization, is financial literacy. That's exactly what our workshops do on an education basis. You see, we are the richest nation in the world, and at the same time, We also have the highest rate of financial illiteracy in the world. So go figure. But basically, education is going to be the incentive in our little workshops. That's what we do, and that's what's been very successful. I'm going to share with you how you can do those, okay? And it's very cost effective. So basically, we hold what's called a financial literacy workshop, and we have 73 different topical classes, so we can expand that in any number of ways. In fact, we're also going to a paid workshop in the coming year. In 2017, some of these workshops are actually going to be offered as a paid-for workshop, so people are actually going to have to pay to come to these workshops. Presently, they're free, and we'll show you how that's done, and also give you an idea on the cost. But let's take a look at what you do now. Basically, LIMRA has done studies that say that it's roughly $395 per selling unit. That's what it costs you to drive one selling unit in your seminar. Okay? Now, buying a close purpose, it's a little over $1,000 to $1,200 per buying unit. So basically, every time you hold a seminar, it's costing you approximately $1,000 to $1,200 to drive a sale. Now, what we're doing in our little workshops is it's costing $500 to $750 to put in anywhere. The last one we did, we put 22 people in there, and it cost us about $550. Okay, so basically that's $20 to $30 per selling unit for that to drive them into the audience, and it's $50 to $60 for a buying unit. So I think you can maybe see the difference. And on that learning pyramid, we just wanted you to understand that at the top you see, lecture. You can lecture to people, but that's not always going to work. That's why we don't call our seminars, they're workshops. We want everybody involved. So you can see as we move all the way down, the retention, you'll see in teaching others and getting involved. Okay, so it's basically, we have data, we are giving out information, and we are trying to help people gain knowledge. And this is their incentive for being at our workshops. Now, we've been using the National Financial Educators Council. I'm a certified financial education instructor. Some of you may be familiar with that. Some of you may have seen that Transamerica actually white labeled this. Transamerica was doing some of this, but the Financial Educators Council has some really, really great materials, and it's very cost effective to become a certified financial education instructor. Now, in our system, you don't have to do that. We recommend that highly in our financial concierge platform, but you don't have to do it. I've done it, chosen to do it, and it really helps because it gains a strong credibility. So when you're holding your seminars, it's not just your own credibility. It's not just about you, and it's certainly not about an insurance company. You're passing on the authority of being a certified financial education instructor with very, very strong information and strong education, and that's giving you the credibility of being certified through the National Financial Educators Council. So you have both credibility and authority in that system. Now, if you remember, we discussed back on how you're incentivizing. Okay, remember this. It's very important that you certainly understand these kind of concepts, okay? Because, there's a psychology also to selling and buying. There's a psychology to money in general. One of our workshops is about the psychology and money. That's the last one we did, where we put in like 22 people. These are all little local workshops that you can generate and build up. And again, cost in doing these is $500 to $750 marketing expenses. So if you look at the stake, this is expensive white noise. First of all, you're not the only one offering a steak dinner, number one. Number two, you're not the only one pitching a seminar with whatever information that they give you. Now remember, when you pitch your seminars, you and I both know that you also have to pass the hurdle of being within compliance. So you're not even free to be teaching the kind of information you really truly want to teach. And and I know that a lot of this information that passes muster in the world of compliance is boring, very boring, okay? So, but when people are digging in to their stake, they are coming because you offered them a steak. Let's be honest, okay? I know our egos like to believe they're coming because they really want to hear this information, but they're not. They were incentivized with the steak dinner, and all the way through, they're thinking about the steak. They're thinking about the steak before it gets to the table. They're thinking about the steak while they're eating the steak. And actually, by the time they dig into dessert, they're thinking about the steak they just had. So all the white noise that you can perform around, before, after, during the steak is going to be really, really lost in the whole process, because you incentivize people for the steak. That's why they're coming. People are self-interested. They make their financial decisions in small little bites. And in this case, the only small little bites they're taking is steak. Okay? When you incentivize people by information, they'll make a decision based upon the information. When you truly are educating people, you need them to come in only because they know they're going to get good information, they know they're going to hear information, and they truly desire getting the information. This is why people need to be incentivized with information and education and nothing else. Now, you can give out some nice little trinkets or whatever you want to give out to people, but that incentive has to be if they're already there. And that incentive certainly can't be something that's going to take their mind off the message and the education you're going to give them. Now, if you look, I got a little picture there of Socrates and the Socratic methodology in education. Education, the word from the original Greek, means to draw out. So when you educate people, you're actually drawing out from them. So Socrates said, I cannot teach anybody anything. I can only make them think. This is why incentivizing people with information is so powerful. You want them to think. Now, I'm going to just close with you on and talk to you a little bit about the Advocacy Network briefly. Once again, we are separated ourselves from the marketplace. I'm a former $1 Million Roundtable producer, but we separate ourselves from the marketplace strictly by implementing a concept of a discussion about financial victimization. This is a great door opener. And by the way, we don't sell insurance. I'm not an FMO, not an IMO. We do not get involved in your insurance sales. We are strictly a platform that will help with your prospecting. We're also a platform that helps people with a great deal of other financial decisions. In fact, that's the reason why we created the Financial Concierge, because I wanted somebody to have a one-to-one relationship with all our members. And so for every financial decision they make, it can have somebody there with them, a coach, as it were, or an educator, or somebody that's going to help walk them through it. Now, that gives you a great deal of prospecting power. First of all, you're going to measure a totally unique message, because you're going to reach to people about financial victimization. It's a simple question. Have you ever felt the pain, anger, shame, and guilt of being financially victimized? That's a very easy question. You can ask that question 15, 20, 25 times a day. Okay, now what you'll find is that most people have been financially victimized. Only 17% of them report their financial victimization. So the chances are, when you ask someone that question, you've hit a nerve. You've touched someone who, chances are, has been financially victimized. Now, they may not admit it, because only 17% do. However, the ones who do, you're that much closer to a relationship with. The ones who don't, you simply expand their awareness. That awareness comes in, hey, that's great that you've never been financially victimized. However, did you know that over $250 billion a year is lost directly to all forms of financial victimization? Now, you let that simmer a little and people think, wow, $250 billion, that's quite a bit of money. Chances are, with that kind of money and that kind of losses, this is something nobody's discussing. Chances are there's a great deal of people being victimized. And one of the key issues to that victimization is financial illiteracy. So yes, how can we help you? Well, we hold totally complimentary workshops in order to help you become aware of all the issues in financial literacy. We want you to become fully financially literate. Now, that workshop, as I said, we have been very successful now drawing out little local areas and just getting 20, 25 people. I'm sure we could get more if we spent some more marketing dollars and make much larger, opportunities. However, we grow to that. Right now, we know we can put 15 to 25 people in a room and spend about $500 to $750 using such key issues as Facebook advertising, landing pages, just some other very, very small, easy tools that many, many people use. Not many insurance people use them, but many other people in other marketing arenas are using these tools. So if you would really like to find out about this, first of all, you see my name there, Carl Schilling. My number is 321-947-3220. If you go out to the advocacynet.com, which is our platform, you'll find that I have another nice little tool that you can all look into getting for your own websites. Is something called vCETA. And vCETA is a wonderful little calendar program that does many, many things. But you can schedule a meeting with me directly there. We can have a one-to-one. You can call me direct. You could schedule that meeting. I'm always available, and I want to help. I'm not trying to pitch you into any corners or do anything. I'm not an FMO, not an IMO. I want to thank Matt Pardine. They've always worked very closely with me over Insurance WebEx. They are wonderful people. I know they do a great job of helping professionals like yourself find the right homes, as it were, for their production and their business. We intentionally stayed out of that, so we're not an FMO or an IMO. I don't get involved in your insurance sales whatsoever. However, we have very strong training and development programs so that we can increase your production. We don't share in any of that, but we can increase it. We also offer our financial concierge an exclusive opportunity. Okay, it's totally exclusive, and that financial concierge has other platforms that we are involved in. And those things give you additional ways to earn additional revenue and profitability for your practice. We're very entrepreneurial driven. One of our workshops is about entrepreneurialism, and it's a wonderful financial workshop. It's totally unique. Imagine having a workshop where you can draw people in and talk to them about the concepts of being an entrepreneur, what it would mean for them to have their own business, how they would do it, all the structures, and how financially advantage cash flow would be to them. It's a wonderful workshop. Again, these are the kind of workshops that the incentive is the information. People desire this information. People want this information. People will show up to get this information. They don't have to be incentivized any other manner or any other way. All you've got to do is make sure you lead with the information and you truly educate. That's also a difference. No selling. If you're selling, you're repelling. These are not about sales. These are about truly educating and creating the relationship. Once you have that audience and you have that crowd, you can move to the one-to-one relationship, which will increase your sales magnificently. So again, my name is Carl Schilling. I want to thank you so much for your time today. As we close out, again, you can reach me at 321-947-3220. You can go directly to theadvocacynet.com and find us there, or you can use email to reach out to me, kschilling@theadvocacynet.com. Again, I want to wish you all well. I want to wish you a tremendous success in everything you're doing. If you stay on the pathway of the seminars you're doing now, and you stay on the course of $3,500 to $4,500 to put the 20, 25, or the 10 or 11 couples in a room, you want to stay in that pathway, that's fine. I know some people are very successful with that. It works. However, you don't need to risk that kind of money, and you don't need to be spending that much to drive that kind of lead. So what we are doing is $500 to $750. It's $20 to put them in a room, and maybe $30 or $40 to get them to make a buying decision, maybe $50. So those are really good numbers to work with. Saves you a lot of money. However, I want to wish you tremendous success. Hopefully this has been beneficial for you today, and I look forward to speaking with you in the near future. Have a great day. Make a difference today.